Hey, what's up, guys? It's Go Big Orange Takeover here, and I am ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a big game against South Carolina. I cannot wait. We got to get our revenge from last year. Absolutely derailed the season. We were in line to go to the playoffs, and then we just did not show up. But as you see, I'm a Tennessee fan. I'm new to this. I'm going to try. I'm ready to enjoy it. And I cannot wait for what comes. I appreciate y'all, whoever tunes in. I'm happy to be on here. Tonight, I think we're just going to go over a few things. We're going to go over some games that are going on right now in the league. From the looks of it, I do not believe we got any SC games on tonight. Let's see here. Let's see if I can share the screen that I want to. All right, yeah, here we go. We'll do it like this. All right. So we got Utah versus Oregon State. Oregon State is killing them, and it's in the fourth quarter. About 13 half minutes to go. Dang, looks like let's see, did Utah's quarterback even play? Can't think of his name. No, their main quarterback must still be hurt. I cannot think of his name for some reason, but looks like he's still out, and they're getting demolished. That Florida game, that one was not one I want to remember against Tennessee and Florida. But I enjoyed watching Florida get beat by Utah. I for sure did. Let's see here. We got Louisiana Tech is beating UTEP, which UTEP's not really shown up at all this season. Cincinnati and BYU looks like it's a good game going almost to halftime. Louisville outlast NC State, and the game that I'm so ready for. I cannot wait. Got a 70 to 29% in Tennessee's favor. It's up to 11.5. Caesar Sportsbook. I can't lie, I'm a little nervous. I'd be wrong to tell you if I wasn't, but I'm a little nervous. This is a team that took our playoff hopes away last year. Absolutely just said, nope, not happening. And that hurt. But maybe we can overcome the challenge this year. A few pointers. Joe Milton. I'm a Joe Milton fan. I am happy that he's our quarterback. And everybody's got their own opinion. They want Nico. They want Joe benched. All completely understandable. I hope he comes into this game ready to just light it up. I think he can have a 3/4, not accuracy, but 3/4 of his game can be on, and we can still be all right because we got Jalen Wright, Jabari Small, and Dylan Sampson in the backfield, who I don't know if you guys know, but if you're Tennessee fans, I'm sure you do. They are bad to the bone. I mean, we're averaging 230 rushing yards per game. Whew. That's good. That is good running. Our defense is on the front end really good. our defensive line and our linebackers are killing it. It does suck that Keenan Peely is not able to be in with the injury that he had. But Elijah Herring, as I believe a sophomore, and Arian Carter as a freshman, are doing a pretty good job for the lack of experience that they have. Our secondary, it's not as much of a work in progress as last year, but it is still up in the air. But I believe our secondary has a pretty good outing this weekend. Two people to focus on, of course, Spencer Rattler, 95 of 128. I mean, don't get much better than that, in all honesty. And Xavier Legette, that dude is having a year. He's averaging more than 20 yards per reception. Like, what? I'm going to try and I'm going to post this on social media. So if you guys will just give me 1 second, that would be perfect. And luckily, South Carolina, they do not have one of their top receivers. I can't think of the dude's name. Juice Wells. That dude, thankfully, is not going to be playing because he would be a menace. An absolute menace. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to. One second. Let's see here. I'm trying to figure out the best way to get this posted. Honestly, go straight to YouTube. That's probably the best way. Go to my channel. Let's go back to just the view of me, and we'll go back to looking at the game and all the stats here in a second. Let's see here if I can. Can I? I'm still trying to work all this out. I would like to be able to put a what's it called? I'd like to put if I could think about it, a thumbnail on the live stream, but let's see here. You're gonna have to go here, dashboard, content, maybe live, edit. Thumbnail. Here we go. It's going to be really bland for the time being, but I'm really trying to, well, I thought I was going to be able to put the one I want up there. But it does not look as if I am. Hold up 1 second. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get a picture that. Kiss me before you go. Summertime sadness. Well, guys, I cannot figure out how to put that thumbnail or whatever on this, but that's okay. Maybe we can share this out. Share. Copy link. You know what? We're going to put it on. All right, guys. It's almost game day. Let's go. Let's go. Sorry, guys. I know there's a big dull moment right here. Just trying to kind of set all this up. It's my first time doing this. All right, we'll pull up the stats here. So Tennessee's last 5 outings. You got UTSA, blowout win. Honestly, The 14 points, it's hard to really hold that against them. They come out of half up 31-0. Yeah, in all honesty, you want your team to play from the first minute to the last. But really, it's just it's hard to say. Going up against UTSA, you're up 31-0. It is what it is, honestly. Florida, that one hurt. That one really hurt. I thought we were ready. I think everyone in Vol Nation thought we were ready. And we shown up and we laid a fat egg. Like, just didn't do anything. Had terrible tackling. We've had 3 games in a row of double-digit missed tackles. What? That don't work in the SEC at all. You should not win any games if you cannot tackle. And more likely you won't. Austin Peay, that honestly, to me, that was a letdown. Some people are going to be like, yeah, it's a win. But in all honesty, 30-13 against Austin Peay, that is no. And I thought that was going to be the eye-opening moment for the team. Like, there wasn't even a line out, a money line out for a point spread against Austin Peay because everybody thought we were going to blow them out. And we win by 13 points. 17. Don't make it any better. Honestly, thought we were doing great against Virginia. It looked like a first game of the season outing. I mean, last year, I think our second game was against Pitt. And the bumpiness in that game was unreal. But we pulled out. We had grit. And we took care of business. Against Virginia, we had some rough moments. I think it was 5 drives in a row with nothing. But we still ended up finding a way to beat them by 36 points. South Carolina, they have had a tough schedule to start the season off. They've played against 2 top 25 teams, and one of them being what's ranked as the number 1 team in the nation. I'm not saying they're not. They just haven't played to the caliber, especially with their last 2 seasons ending in championships. They've not played up to that caliber. North Carolina, I think we all thought North Carolina was going to be really good this season, and they're not terrible. I mean, they beat South Carolina by 14, but then they go out and who was it they lost to? Let's see here. Cannot remember who they lost to. Oh, they haven't lost. That's right. They almost lost to App State. And then they put up the same amount of points against Minnesota that they put up against South Carolina. And then they came back out and played pretty decent against Pitt. So fair play to them. They're doing pretty good. They're considered 3rd in the ACC behind Louisville, which Louisville, I don't think they're counting Louisville in this because, Louisville's played 1 more game than everybody. But that's, North Carolina's actually doing pretty good. So 2 pretty decent teams they've went up against and they've lost to. Furman, they went out and pretty much took care of business, as anyone should against Furman. Mississippi State, that was a close game when nobody was expecting it to be, really. I mean, South Carolina found a run game. They put up a pretty good amount of run yards. I think it was about want to say 80 something, maybe 100, somewhere in there. But I'm ready for this matchup. It's going to be a good one this Saturday. About 7 more minutes and it's game day, folks. Almost game day. It's going to be a great day watching football. Get up at 9 a.m., watch some college game day, and go to sleep at like 2 a.m. after all the games are off. Can't spend a Saturday doing anything other than that. That's all I got to say. Get to watch them boys run through the tee. Dark mode. It's going to be lit. It is going to be an amazing time tomorrow night. Spencer Rattler is playing out of his mind. And Xavier Legette is playing out of his mind. He had a under route in the middle of the field, caught it with, I think it was 3 or 4 dudes around him. And that dude turned on the burners. I think said he caught it 3 yards past the line of scrimmage and ran for 75 more. Run after the catch was phenomenal. Dude has some wheels for legs. Speaking of wheels for legs, Joe Milton III clocked at 21.3 miles per hour. First play of the game last week. Yeah, it was UTSA. Yeah. Zone read. I want to say it'd be an outside linebacker coming around. And he tried to get, I want to say, Jalen Wright. And Milton kept it. And he ran like I've never seen before. Hey, what's up, Blaine? I see you in the chat. Nice to have you here. Talking some Tennessee football and getting ready for this game tomorrow. It's going to be a great day. And also we're covering some other games going on. Utah's getting the brakes beat off of them. Louisiana Tech is taking it to UTEP. Halftime, BYU is leading Cincinnati by 4. By 4. Louisville, they took it home. You know what? We'll go over some pick'ems. Because I ain't going to tell you that I am not scared about my picks. I am not confident whatsoever in any of these picks. No, Blaine, I am not going to the game. Tickets are a little expensive this year because we had to go and be really freaking good last year. But yeah, these are the pick'ems for this week. In all honesty, I have no clue on any of them. I pick who I think is going to win. And there's quite a few of them that are just toss-up games. LSU Ole Miss, that one, I ain't got a clue. TCU should beat West Virginia. I think they're like a 17-point favorite. I got to pick against Duke just because I'm not really sure who Duke's actually play. I mean, I know they beat Clemson, but Clemson's also 2-2, which they almost took it to Florida State. Let's see where this Duke game is. Is it back up here? No, it's down here. So let's see. Where's Duke? Duke and Notre Dame. So you got a 30% chance to win this one. And the money line is 5.5 to Notre Dame, and they're at Duke. Yeah, I mean, I just got to go with Notre Dame. They're not really they're not too battle tested in themselves, but it's about the same. I mean, the fact that they only had 10 people on the field on the last 2 plays of the game against Ohio State, that right there just tells you didn't want to win. They even took a timeout and still went out with 10 people on the field. Obviously, somebody wasn't paying attention. Obviously, somebody probably got their butt chewed because they deserved to after that. But, well, they gave up a touchdown the last play of the game. It was a hard-fought win, but boo OSU. Yeah, they put it on Navy when they played in Ireland, 42-3. North Carolina State, that one was a close one for a long time, but I guess Notre Dame ended up pulling away. Tennessee State, that should be the score. CMU? Who in the world is CMU? Central Michigan? I ain't never heard of Central Michigan, so that's what the score should be there. Duke, they took it to UConn. Northwestern, they've kind of been haven't they? No, they're 2-2. Who have they played? Oh, right here. Sorry. Rutgers. Well, Rutgers have been pretty decent this season. They beat UTEP pretty handedly. And then took the L to Duke, or took the L from Duke, and beat Minnesota by 3, where North Carolina beat Minnesota by 14, 17, somewhere in there. So, I mean, Northwestern's kind of meh. I mean, it's all right. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, this should be Notre Dame, just barely, honestly. I think it'll be a very close game. I think Notre Dame will start pulling away around the third quarter. I think they got some dudes. I think Sam Hartman finally has himself a good game against a good opponent. I think Notre Dame's Estime has a good rushing yardage outage. I think Duke does not win this one. I think Notre Dame has it. Georgia State and Troy. I mean, come on now. I don't keep up with Georgia State or Troy. I'm just go with Georgia State because they're undefeated and Troy is not. Ole Miss and LSU. This one it's almost a toss-up if I'm being honest. I mean, I don't truly know where the money line sits. See if we can find it. Right here. 2.5 in LSU's favor, and that's even with home field advantage. Ole Miss, I mean, it really should be LSU pulling it out. Ole Miss didn't show up for much of the game against Alabama. As a Tennessee fan, of course, I'm picking against Alabama anytime I think there's a possibility of them losing. But that didn't work out last week. If Ole Miss comes to play, it'll be a close game, and I think it'll be a boat race, and I think LSU takes it. I mean, Malik Neighbors is honestly, he's going off. Is it Jaden Daniels? I don't really know what. Jaden Daniels, he's having a pretty decent season. I mean, he's already up to near 1,300 receiving yards. Or is that might be rushing and receiving, but I mean, dude's playing some good ball. I enjoyed the Tennessee LSU game last year when everybody was betting against us, and we end up honestly just taking it to them. First play of the game was or on the kickoff. The kickoff is a fumble recovery by Tennessee. I mean, what more can you ask for? So that was honestly perfect. it is, let's see. So this game coming up. Sorry, 1 second. This game coming up. I mean, it's just leaning more in LSU's favor. But like I said, it's probably going to be a boat race. And whoever, what is the over under? Is that 67 and a half points? They're expecting both teams to score around 33 points. Well, one of them scoring 36 and the other scoring 33. That is crazy. I mean, like I said, that one's just a toss-up. There's nothing else that you can say about it. It's a toss-up. LSU and Ole Miss. Should be a good game on at 5 p.m. Of course, I'm turning that off halfway through because good old Rocky Top, baby. Then you got Memphis versus Boise State. I haven't kept up with either of those teams. Go Memphis because it's in Tennessee. That's all I got to say. South Florida, I mean, yeah, you played against Alabama. But in all honesty, Alabama just did not look like Alabama. Their energy or just honestly everything about them did not look like they actually decided to show up to play. I still got South Florida beating Navy because Navy ain't really good at all. I mean, Army versus Navy, go Army. I mean, whenever that game is. So I'm just going with South Florida because that's also Tennessee's ex-offensive coordinator, Alex Golesh. So rooting for him for sure. James Madison and South Alabama. James Madison's 4-0. They beat Virginia, but again, Virginia's kind of not that good after coming off of that tragedy, shooting that happened there. Always wishing them a good mental recovery after that. I know it's hard. So Virginia's not the greatest. I think they're 0-4 or 0-5 or whatever. But James Madison's 4-0. Let's see what the two of them have been able to do so far this season. How about Colorado? I know I just seen Colorado, or I saw Colorado State. But how about Colorado getting hosed by Oregon? Y'all can say I'm a hater, whatever. But Oregon's media team did amazing in catching all that pregame film of Colorado trashing their stadium. Not really trashing the stadium, but trashing the O. And I know that's football. People do it all the time. But in order to do that, I think you got to be able to back it up. And their play definitely did not back it up. So put a massive smile on my face. South Alabama, they played CMU and they lost, but they beat. Is Oklahoma? No, Oregon State's the one that's top. That's ranked. Okay. They beat Oklahoma State 33-7. That's a pretty good win. But they lost 31-17 to Tulane. Tulane's pretty decent this year. Go back to when Tulane was in the SEC. That was a long time ago. Who the heck? The Southeast Louisiana Lions. Okay. They beat them by 18. Okay. And then you got James Madison, who beat Utah State 45-38. That's a pretty close game. Troy 16-14. That's a close game as well. Virginia by 1 point. I remember I was watching that game, and when I tuned in, Virginia was down by, I think it was 14, 21 points. And the next thing you know, you've got Virginia coming back think they were leading 35-28 or such. And then I turned it off because I think either the Tennessee game came on or a different ranked matchup came on. And then later on in the day, I found out Virginia got beat. I mean, they are going through it this season. That sucks. Who's Buckrell? I don't know who Buckrell is, but James Madison took it to them. So, yeah, I got James Madison taking the cake in this one. Texas A&M and Arkansas. Texas A&M, they've played I mean, Miami basically told them, hey, you're not to the hype that everybody's giving you. The Auburn game, it sucks. They lost their starting quarterback. Honestly, it does. Their second string quarterback did a pretty good job. So I mean, you can't fully blame the disconnect on offense. On the offense, I mean, you can never prepare for injuries. You can never prepare and say, all right, this week we need to make sure our second string is better or is ready. Because, I mean, I said you just never know. Arkansas, they brought a game to LSU this past weekend. So actually, I have not really looked into this game to see how the bettors are thinking it's going to go. But I wouldn't be surprised if they got it set at a close spread. Let's see. Guys, I more than likely pass it up already. So we got 3 of y'all in here. That's wonderful. I hope y'all are all having a wonderful night. Welcome to the GBO Takeover. Go Big Orange. Okay, I forgot. I'm looking for Texas A&M and Arkansas. I was looking for daggum LSU. So they got A&M set to win by 72%. And they're at the Dallas Cowboys Stadium. Okay, so A&M is a 6-point favorite on a neutral site field. I mean, Blaine, I could not agree more. That, yes, the A&M game should be pretty good. I mean, if it comes down to a boat race, last week's shown that Arkansas can put their boat in the race, and their tank's a little bit less than LSU's. It don't hold as much, but they for sure can race you until it's gone. So, I mean, in all honesty, it should be a great game. 6-point spread. So, Arkansas's lost against BYU and LSU. It's a pretty close game on both of them. It's a one-possession game. And the LSU game, I know it came down to the wire. BYU, I do not recall actually watching that game. I don't really watch much Arkansas football. But they beat Western Carolina by 43 points. Kent State by 22. I mean, Kent State's, I think, kind of mediocre this year. But the 2 losses are to pretty decent competition. A&M's losses were to New Mexico. I mean, losses was only to Miami. Their wins, New Mexico by 42, ULM by 44. I mean, I think a high school team could probably put 47 on ULM. Tennessee commit Boo Carter. He was playing up in Farragut tonight. I know there was a lot of eyes on that game. Cannot wait to hopefully get that kid in our program. Which I don't know if he's committed. I cannot actually remember. I don't want to say he's committed, but I know we are eyeing him. I'm sure a lot of us were all worried when he took that visit to Colorado. But what it seems like is instead of getting drawn into Colorado, he has taken somebody with him from Colorado. And let me pull it up. It is the guy who is set to visit this weekend, not officially. I cannot remember the guy. Oh my gosh. I feel bad for not being able to remember this. I do not remember his name, but he is set to come this weekend. Yeah, so he is committed. All right. Thank you, Blaine. Yeah, I saw that one-handed catch earlier. That was pretty nice. Cannot complain if that is someone who wants to come and play at Tennessee. But the guy who is coming this weekend, it's not his official visit, but he canceled his official visit to Oklahoma this weekend and is coming to Knoxville. I mean, come on. What better time to come than Neyland at night, dark mode, and a redemption game against South Carolina, who put 63 on your head last year and ruined your playoff chances. I mean, it sets up perfectly. But A&M beat Auburn. Auburn's so bad that I think their program, I think they're shutting it down next season. Totally kidding. But they got a heavy game this week against Georgia. It's at Auburn. I'd like to see how that game starts because Georgia has not started well in, I think, every single one of their games this year. They've not been very productive heading into the first quarter. But once they get rolling, they seem to kind of keep the coals burning and finishing strong. So South Carolina put 14 on them and then didn't score until the end. Well, that's right. They didn't score again. So for Georgia, you got to keep steady pace. But yeah, I think A&M should win this one. I think it's going to be really close to a boat race. And if it is, I still got A&M pulling it out. It sucks about their quarterback. I think he's still out. Well, it says he's active. Nope, my bad. Yeah, he's out for the rest of the season. Yeah, he's not playing. He's not playing at all. Yes, Jace. Yes, Jace. I know. Ricky Pearsall had the Michael Jordan logo catch against, who was that, Central Florida last weekend. And no Gators are good Gators. And then there's two more games on the pick'ems. Clemson and Syracuse. Syracuse 4-0 heading into the weekend. Clemson, they've had a rough road this season. So I still got Clemson pulling it out. ESPN has Syracuse winning. It is at Syracuse, but Clemson has a 7-point favorite. Braden, you're a Georgia fan who's hating against Tennessee. I mean, I don't like Georgia at all either, but I mean, whatever. Yeah, ETN. If Kamal Hadden knew how to tackle, ETN wouldn't have looked so great with that 70-yard run. But Kamal Hadden decided he wanted to shoulder tackle the dude, and that went nowhere. Braden, I know you're kidding, but so yeah, Kamal Hadden last year, probably my least favorite guy on the team. He just, especially in the South Carolina game, he's jaw-jacking with everybody when he just got thrown on for 5 to 20 yards every single play, and he's looking over the sideline talking smack. This season, he's been pretty good. He's had a couple good pass breakups. Jace, I have not seen where Hadden has tackled his own teammate, but it would not surprise me. What I wish he would do is look back towards the ball a little bit more, because especially once we're starting to get into more SEC play, that could easily turn into a PI. But who knows? I like to put this up here because I hope Georgia does not three-peat. And Carson Beck, I won't say he's bad. I say he's just like the rest of the Georgia team. Once they start rolling, it kind of follows after itself. But they need to be dang near wide open, I think, for him to hit it. But who knows? Georgia seems to always get better as the year goes on, so I guess we shall see. This Clemson-Syracuse game, I think it's going to be close, really close. I think Clemson pulls it out late in the fourth quarter. Yes, Jace, you said it perfect. Our D-line is pretty good. I mean, Tyler Barron's got 4 sacks on the year. James Pierce Jr., I think he's got 1 or 2. Then we got Bryson Eason, I think that's his name, who's a big man. I think we got Omari Thomas. I think it's Omari. I think that our secondary, is not SEC type secondary. That's what I'll say. I'll say they were picked up and they were kept back after Pruitt's tenure was up. And they are more focused on see ball, go for ball, but don't try and tackle the ball. Our middle linebacker, or one of our linebackers, Elijah Herring, he gets too set on running at the person with the ball that he doesn't break down and tackle. He whiffs a few times on a tackle. We haven't had Danico Slaughter at cornerback in a couple games. I don't know if he was for the Florida game. I'm not going to say that would make a difference at all. But Jalen McCullough at safety, I like McCullough, but I think he's not fast. Kamal Hadden, I think everybody knows. Kamal Hadden's just annoying. The fact that he is our best bet, but who knows? Maybe he'll have a break. I think he'll have a breakout game this weekend. Alabama being a letdown. That one's tough. Mostly because Alabama is Alabama. Who knows? I mean, who do they even play this weekend? I have no clue who Alabama plays. Are they off this weekend? No, they play Mississippi State. And they're at Mississippi State, but Alabama is still favored by 14.5 points. I mean, if Alabama can go out and cover the spread this weekend, I think they'll do all right. I think they'll have a pretty decent season. And I think, like always, I mean, like Jay said about the Florida game, the fans played a major factor in the game. Like I hope Neyland does tomorrow. And it's game day, by the way. I think playing in Bryant-Denny is going to be tough for whoever goes. I mean, Tennessee's got to go this season. I still think if Tennessee wins tomorrow, or well, I guess today, if Tennessee wins and they win pretty handily, I'd like to see I think the Alabama-Tennessee game goes boat race. I think it'll come down to who has the ball last. But as of Alabama being a letdown, no. I mean, last year they lost 2 games. So, I mean, this year I was expecting either the same or even more losses. I mean, who knows? I think to us non-Alabama fans, I don't see that being a letdown. I see that as being awesome. Because I'm tired of this Alabama reign that has been happening for so long and you cannot tell me that it's been completely legal in the sense of NCAA rules. But I think right now I think it's a great atmosphere for college football. The NIL is, to a certain extent. I think it has a way of, and the transfer portal, I think it has a way of making everybody now have their chance at being good. Colorado, for a great example, I still don't think they're all that this year. I think they're a 6-6, 5-7 team. I thought that from the beginning of the season. Yeah, when you do pay the NCAA, everything is legal. Nothing wrong about that statement. But I think right now is a great time for collegiate athletes because, I mean, you have the chance to go out and bust your tail and you get rewarded for it. I mean, you can go and get noticed by some team and then transfer in and you can be the star of that team. I mean, heck, Henry To'oTo'o was wonderful at Tennessee. Did everything happen with Pruitt? Went to Alabama. And, I mean, he played pretty good at Alabama. I mean, it's just business, he said. And then Tennessee beat him as he said that. But, I mean, I'm trying to think of Sam Hartman. I mean, there's another prime example of a transfer who can show out if he really wants to. I cannot think of many people right now, but I think the transfer portal is a good thing to a certain extent. But yeah, I think right now is a great time for collegiate athletes. And for the game that I honestly have no idea whatsoever, Kentucky and Florida, I mean, that game right there, it's at Kroger Field. I mean, you're looking at a nail biter, in all honesty. The line has already dropped down to 1 point towards Kentucky's favor. Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray were both transfers. So, I mean, and they ended up shining. And, yeah, that's what I think. It's what I'm saying. I mean, the transfer portal opens a whole lot more opportunities, and it allows people to show what they got rather than being stuck at a team where you ain't even got the receivers to show that you're a decent quarterback. But as we inch closer, looks like the money line is inching closer and closer to Florida. I think as a Tennessee fan, I'm always going to go against Florida. But I think I want to go with Kentucky on this one. They beat Vandy by 17. I mean, Florida couldn't beat Vandy last year. I know it's a new year, but had to throw that out there. Kentucky's not played anybody by any means. So at this point, they should be 4-0. Florida has had to play 2 top 25 teams, and they gave up the first game. I mean, that game was pretty tough. Started off probably the worst possible way that it could for them. Literally a a seam route just right between two defenders. And, dude, house call. I mean, that set the tone for the game. I mean, after that, they played pretty decent to a certain extent. They just couldn't really move the ball. And then the Tennessee game, that one just really hurts because I do feel like Tennessee should have won that game. I feel like neutral site, it would go in Tennessee's favor, but Tennessee just didn't show up. I mean, if they don't show up at a neutral site game, then same outcome. I mean, Tennessee didn't show up. Florida decided, hey, we're going to show up. The fans decided they were going to show up. And I mean, it was the end of it. That was the game by the end of the second quarter. The game was over. You done dug yourself too big of a hole. Don't matter how much you want to say that the refs caused the loss. Shouldn't put yourself in that situation to where you want to blame the refs. I mean, just kind of how it is. I don't agree with the blindside block call. I think that was the weakest blindside block call in NCAA history, even though that it's only been around for 4 years or 3 to 4 years by now, maybe even less. Okay. Should have played Nico. This is where a lot of us are at, especially Tennessee fans. We go up against UTSA, and we're up 31-0 at the half. Joe just got folded like a taco, and he runs out of the tent wanting to play. I don't care. You showed enough leadership that you came out of the tent and you wanted to go in. But if I'm the coach, I'm saying, look, you've done your due diligence. Let's let Nico come in, get him a taste of first half football. And especially after halftime, I don't care that our defense gave up 2 touchdowns. I mean, like I said earlier, I don't fully blame them. You're playing against UTSA. You're up 31-0 at the half. Should have been more, but we jumped on a punt that only went 20 yards because it was blocked and fumbled that and gave it back to UTSA. It should have been more than 31 at the half. We looked like Tennessee of last year. It was wonderful to watch. And then you come out of half and your mind is still in the locker room. I don't fully blame them. I mean, you're up by 31. But I don't think Joe should have gone back out, even though it was then a 17-point game. I say if the defense ended up giving up another score, yeah. But it was still a 3-possession game, and UTSA had taken off, I think, near 9 minutes of the clock in the third quarter. So you're looking at 21 minutes of gameplay left. I mean, put the kid in, let him experience college football with the ones. And I think Nico should have went in the Florida game as well, especially towards the end where you realize there is no way of coming back. But I'm not a coach, and I guess that's for a reason. So who knows? I guess they'll do as they wish, and us as fans will continue to question it. But dang, as we inch closer to this game, they are wanting Florida to win this. They are really picking Florida to win it. Kentucky by 1. But I mean, that's home field advantage, which gives you either 2 or 3 points. So I mean, honestly, it's a toss-up game. I got Kentucky winning it. So those are my pick'ems. This has been my first stream as GBO Takeover. Go Big Orange, baby. It's game day. We got a game tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Kneeland at night. Dark mode. It's going to be nice. Everybody going to be rowdy. Everybody going to be liquored up. It's going to be nice. So thank y'all for tuning in. And see you next time. Hopefully with a win.